Next
sure.
up, we'll bring up a couple weaknesses on the offense. Obviously, the offensive line. The offensive line was not good last year. You can put blame on Hudson Card and Casey Thompson all you want, but this offensive line wasn't good, and it put them in a lot of bad situations. And hopefully, I'm not asking for it to be great. I don't think it's going to be great, but if it can be an average offensive line with the skill position we have and the talent we have at quarterback, whoever it ends up being, and Steve Sarkisian calling plays, I think this team's ceiling is possibly a Big 12 championship.
Very well could be. I'll get into what I have them going later on. I'm sure we'll talk about the schedule, but
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the August 3rd practice, left tackle, he had Andre Karich, left guard Hayden Connor, center Jake Majors, right guard Junior Anglau, and right tackle Christian Jones. But like we spoke on earlier, the Cam Williams, the Devin Campbell, the Kelvin Banks could work their way in there before the season's end. And I think that'll definitely bode well for our future.
100%. I fully expect one of those freshmen to start at least 2 games this year. I just see that happening, whether that's due to injury or lack of good enough play on the offensive side of the ball, offensive line. And like I said, it's one of those things. It may not look great this year, and I think most Texas fans' expectations aren't super high this year. I'm thinking 8-4, 9-3 max, but it's definitely one of the things moving forward where this could really potentially move us into that upper echelon of college football. If you look at the great college football teams like a Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, they always have at least good offensive lines. It's very rare for them to have an average offensive line. They haven't had a bad one in the last decade at any of those programs. So it's one of those things. You have to control the line of scrimmage on the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball, and that's really what's held Texas back the last couple of years, including last year.
And you spoke on it, the Alabamas of the world. We have Flood. That's where he came from. He knows how to build one of those massive SEC caliber, run the ball down your throat type of offensive lines. And you can tell that by this class being the best recruiting offensive lineman that we've had in a long time. So
I mean, it's one of the 5 best classes probably in the history of recruiting for the offensive line position. It was insane the amount of talent they got in that class.
Yeah, it is. It is,
definitely. And he definitely has a type, Kyle Flood. I mean, if you see the picture, I forget his name. I know his number 65 for Alabama. They always show him. And he was gigantic. He looked like if anyone pays attention to Pokemon, the like turtle with the shell on. He was just gigantic human being, and that is his type, man. Like he just wants big, freak humans that he can mold into good offensive linemen, and we've definitely got those body types. Now it's up to him to develop those guys into good offensive linemen.
Right.